Welcome back. The final sub-episode of this episode series within a series. It's like weightlifting video inception. I know you love it because I love it. If you skipped over 5A and 5B because you just saw advanced lifter or you just saw like experienced lifter and you just wanted to watch that one instead, you're a clown. Go back and watch 5A and 5B before you watch this one. If you stumbled on this one, you were like, I didn't even know there was a 5A and a 5B. You can go ahead and click right here, or you can click right here, or you can click right here, or you can click somewhere, and maybe, just maybe, Jake will put a link in there for you so you can say, I watched the beginner and intermediate one. I feel a lot smarter now. Now I'm ready for the advanced. All right, so our advanced lifter is none other than Evan Daddy Long Legs Smith. Evan is advanced because he has 5+ years of experience in CrossFit and Olympic weightlifting. So spent majority of his lifting career in that CrossFit space, but CrossFit is no stranger to performing snatches, cleans, jerks, and variations of those. So Evan has seen these lifts hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of times. So with that background involved in CrossFit, plenty of exposure to Olympic weightlifting. Best snatch is 111 kilos. Evan, I don't know if that's right. I think that's right. If I'm wrong, yell at me and tell me you're stronger. But I got you on the clean and jerk here. So Evan's best clean and jerk is 300 pounds, 136 kilos. Maybe I rounded him up there. Maybe I rounded him up there a little bit. Shoot me. Why don't you? I think his best clean and jerk might be 290 or 295. Best clean is 300. And I think he can jerk like 360. So project never miss a jerk. So we'll round him up there. Well, maybe when this video comes out, we'll be hitting 136, 300-pound doubles, Mr. Smith. All right, well, let's take a look at his actual lifts here. So we're going to start with a snatch video. This is a snatch complex for Evan. This was, I believe, a week or 2 weeks post-American Open. This is 97 kilos right here, 1 kilo under where he opened. He opened at 98 kilos, and we will see how he does with this. This is a snatch plus a low hang snatch. We're going to play it at full speed, and then we will slow it down from there. So Evan, what you'll notice right away, actually, I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to shut the fuck up because I'm doing a bad job at that. Oh, yeah, I love it. Hit him with that fist bump. Oh, nice. All right. I didn't talk through the whole thing. Someone comment and tell me you're proud of me. That deserves a like, a comment, and a subscribe. All right, let's run this thing back. Let's hit it from the start like we have with everybody else. Evan uses a dynamic start, which is pretty common with the more advanced lifters. Taking advantage of that stretch shortening cycle off the floor is not uncommon. Some people prefer the static start. I see a lot more people using the dynamic start these days than the static. So Evan is not a stranger to the dynamic start. So off the floor, what do we see? Possibly, hips are a little bit low. It's kind of hard to tell with the shorts that he has on. If they are lower than the knee, it's by a very small amount. Evan is someone whose legs in the pull are a lot stronger than his back in terms of what it can support. So that's why we're hitting a lot of pulls, a lot of tempo pulls as of recently. Strengthening that lower back so he does have the confidence to bear more of the load with his back, bring those hips up just slightly, give himself a little bit more of a mechanical advantage through the lift. All right, so what happens as some other things to look at off the floor. Elbow position looks good, nice and internally rotated right there. What happens as we break the floor? As we break the floor, shins move back as they should. Look at this. Very nice. At the knee, this is what we want to see. I got bars today. At the knee, this is just about perfect. Bar is close. Shoulders are in front of the bar. Evan does a really good job of sweeping that bar back in. Could Evan get more of a knee rebend here? Probably. And we worked on this. Feels a little bit awkward for him. It's going to be something that he has to get used to. But probably we could take advantage of a little bit more of a knee bend. Evan does have some knee valgus. The knees tend to move in as he extends. Again, it's not the end of the world to see that knee valgus from an injury prevention standpoint. It might be somewhat of a problem on a force production force into the floor, but I'm not even convinced of that. So it's not something that we really want to focus on addressing directly with a bunch of like clamshells and reductionist exercises. It will get better as his legs get stronger. Straight up, real talk, that's how it is. So let's go one more frame here and we'll see him right at power. Some people want to define this as power position. First hip contact here. I think this is closer to power position for Evan in terms of a bar position, shoulder position, where he's actually at in the lift. So we can see here that Evan is losing a small amount of force into the floor by bringing his heels up early. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. There are a lot of lifters. You can watch someone like Kate Nye, whose heels are off the floor very early, and they're still extremely successful in the lift. So it's something to watch and possibly address, which we're looking at now, to see if there is that carryover. But overall, Evan does a really good job of throwing his shoulders back. He gets that full extended position right here. This is what we want to see in extension. This is everything. He threw everything into this. Ankles, knees, hips. Hips retreat back and then come forward. Now, one thing that Evan and I are working on as we speak is being a little bit more active in this high pull right here. So Evan could get a little bit more in terms of being active with his arms right here and really pulling that bar towards your chin. Squeeze out and up on that bar and pull on it a little bit more. You might get a touch more height on that bar. I mean, Evan really does a good job of sneaking under this. But there is a small amount of disconnect because he is losing some of that going from here to here. It's more of a here and then a bit of a disconnect there. So it is a split second. It is only a couple frames, but it's something that can be improved and could add, 3 or 4 more kilos onto this lift right here. This looks a lot different than our other lifters because Evan is so close to max values here. But what we want to see is we are securing ourselves nice under the barbell. Evan does a really good job. If you play this at full speed, you'll be able to see it, of popping those elbows. And we clap, lock them bitches out. Very nice. Evan secures himself under the bar. Once Evan is in this position, he rarely lifts miss. Or he rarely misses lifts. So he's good in this position right here. He's going to let it rock around a little bit. That's kind of the problem with getting a little bit disconnected going from here to here, is that there is some variability in how the bar is going to move. So it looks like it wants to go back. Evan pulls it a little bit forward, stands it up. Very good. All right, now we're going to come down to the hip, repeat that for a hang snatch. Just fucking grip strength of the gods on that one. Evan does a good job of setting himself here. And this is personal preference right here. I think that it sets you into a better position when you start a hang snatch by bending your knees first. I like to see an intentional knee bend right here and then a hinge forward. Evan hinges forward. Again, look at this position at the knee right here. I mean, the knees are out, shoulders are over the bar, back is flat. Like, this is a really, really, really strong, solid position right here. Comes into the hip. I personally think this is a better power position than the full. I think he's doing a better job of driving into the ground. Boom. Again, does a really good job of sneaking under it. Secures it overhead. I think he's a little bit more connected on this one than the last one. Let's watch this one at full speed. Yeah, so he's more connected through this third pull, does a better job of pulling it with his arms, probably because his legs are tired. Locks it out very nicely. Just really good with those elbows right there. Boom. So nice. Such a good position right there. And then he stands it up a little bit easier. He doesn't have to hang out at the bottom as much. because the bar doesn't rock back and forth. So because he stays more connected, it lands. Doesn't want to go back too far on him. He just secures it there for a second, hangs out, stands it up. Really nice. He recovers a little bit forward. But I think that's just because he kind of, see that rotation of the shoulders. External, goes a little internal as he stands. And it just wants to take him forward a little bit. But still a very good made lift. I mean, we're looking at, 90, 89-ish% of all-time best on a snatch plus low hang snatch coming out of competition. That's a good number to see right there. So again, some small corrections for Evan. They are exactly that, very, very small. And they're going to be issues that improve as Evan just gets generally stronger. So as he gets stronger, these issues are probably just going to fix themselves. And we're going to see that show up on his lifts. And people are going, oh, you fixed his knee valgus. He was a little bit more connected through the third pull. And it wasn't like anything that we did specifically or an exercise that we chose. Evan just became stronger in specific positions and more confident overall. And he executed the lifts accordingly. So that's pretty much how this is going to progress for him. That's also going to come with an increase in body weight. So that's kind of neither here nor there, but Evan's current goal is to bump up from that 89 to the 96s. He is a lanky boy. I mean, daddy long legs over here. So adding some meat onto his frame and then adding some absolute force generation with that newfound meat, dangerous lad, real dangerous lad. All right, now let's take a look at the clean here. Let me move these frames around a little bit. Jake's gonna kill me. Jake's gonna punch me in the face when he sees this video. He's like, what the fuck did you do? Why does it look so bad? Why are you moving shit around all the time? Because that's how I am. All right, again, let's move this out of the way so we can watch it. And then let's watch this in full speed without me talking to distract you. It technically didn't start yet, so I can pause it and say something. This is another complex. I think this is a clean plus a jerk. Very nice on the first clean. 115 kilos here. Again, roughly the same percentage, 89-ish percent, 87 maybe. So that was a clean, plus a clean, plus a hang clean, low hang clean, plus a jerk. At 86, 87% of his max. I like that a lot. All right, we're going to break it down like we did the rest. We're going to look at this start position. Again, Evan takes advantage of that dynamic start position. Knees come in a little bit off the floor. Fucking fight me on it. This is not a problem. This is not something that we should spend an excessive amount of time combating. Evan doesn't have knee pain. He's fine. He's a big boy. Hips and shoulders rising together. Like to see that. So off the ground to the knee. Very nice. Very, very nice right here. Now, Evan knows this, and I know it. There could be a little bit more bend in the knee at this point. We could still be a little bit more driving into the ground with the quads, extending those knees. The hips are probably just a smidge high on this right here, and we're going to see that reflected in this rebend. So this rebend is relatively small. It's how Evan has always done the lifts. So it's just something that, we're going to fine tune and we're going to correct and we're going to play with over time. See if it buys us some extra kilos on the bar. Here's our contact position. This is actually one more frame. Nope. One more frame. Give me one more. No. All right, there we go. This is our power position right here. Good job, Evan. Heels are on the ground. Knees can be pushed out a smidge, maybe a little bit. But overall, this is a really solid power position. No unnecessary arm bend that's going to turn into a rebend when we go into that third pull. So very nice. Shoulders are over the bar. Evan always does a really good job of extending lifting and throwing those shoulders back. Good extension position right here. Knees, hips, ankles. Looking good. And then Evan does a really nice job of pulling himself under the bar. Staying active, pulling on the bar, not letting it crash. I mean, I said Courtney's meeting the bar was perfect, but I think Courtney and Evan might be tied here. No crash. We're meeting this thing right at where it could be a power. Evan's going to ride this sucker down. So there's our first clean. Perfectly fine to take a step back away from the bar and reset. Don't let some jabroni on Instagram be like, eh, that's a pretty fucking slow double there, dude. Very funny. Take your breath. Take your time, Evan. Do the lift right. Second clean, it's a lot of the same off the floor. Again, the rebend, I think we could have a little bit more there. But overall, it's not something to be overly concerned with. Do we meet the bar nicely? We do. So yeah, a little bit of fatigue from that first clean. You can see we're catching it a little bit lower, but we're still securing the bar around that power position. That maybe we're not at power. Maybe we're down at POW now. But does a really good job just pulling this thing in. I mean, that's something that a lot of lifters struggle with, is going from that extension position and cleanly securing. Some people like to drop too fast under the bar and they get crashed on. And a lot of that is just being out of position early on in the lift. You're pushing the bar away from you. You're over pulling it with your arms. Evan doesn't do any of those. He really just nicely secures this thing, rides it down. All right. Wow, look at this CrossFit right here. And I re-grip because I'm a CrossFitter. We come down to the hip. Evan works really well from the hang. He's a great barbell cycler. He really honestly is. Like, shit, man. Look at this knees out position right here. This is so much better than what we saw. So I know you got it in you, Ev. I mean, shit. We got to rewind a little bit. I'm getting used to this new little tool that I got here, hitting random buttons and whatnot. So we got to rewind a little slow. Where were we? We were on the hang clean. So here we are on that hang clean. Again, the rebend isn't awesome, but it's also not terrible. Again, let's see how high we secure this clean. Oh, we are really at power range now. But after 3 reps at 86, 87%, this is kind of what we would expect. Secures it. It's a little bit of a struggle standing it up. Let's look at Evan's jerk. Evan is someone who is quite good at the jerks. I gave him the correction of pushing his knees out. He really loved it in terms of not getting too far forward. Evan does a good job. He sets his chin back, sets his head back so he doesn't knock himself unconscious, stays super extended in his thoracic spine, really kind of accentuating. English is hard. Accentuating that extended thoracic position, creating that shelf on which the bar sits. The dip is solid. It's not overly, well, we might get a little bit too far. Oh, Evan. Legs are a little fatigued from those first 3 cleans, but we get a little bit far forward. It's so minor. It's so minor. I'm going to say it's good. Evan, it's perfect. It's possibly, and again, that knee valgus, it's not an issue. Shut up. This is nice. We have fully extended into the bar with our legs. We're not leaving anything left in those legs. And then Evan does a fantastic job of pushing himself under the bar. He's not just driving the jerk as high as possible and hoping it lands in the right position. He's actively pushing on it, getting himself in the position. And it stays. And that's why he can recover so fast. So watch this. All the other lifters that we watched, beginner and intermediate, they had to hang out in that jerk and correct. Not Evan. Look at that. He lands, he recovers. Easy as that. Because when you put the bar in the right position, recovering in a jerk is extremely easy. Put it in the right spot. Don't have to think about it. Watch the shin angle. It's hard to see in this front angle, but you can tell that shin is as close to vertical as it can get. Bend in the back leg, very even weight distribution. And it just makes for a really easy recovery on a jerk. And this is how you never miss jerks right here. Is if you put it in the right spot, you stay active overhead, you're good. Look at that. That is the face of a man who is proud of himself or about to pass out. Either way, Evan, you deserve a round of applause. So with our more advanced lifter, there's less to look at. There's less to correct. A lot of things that we could possibly correct are very, very small things that we're going to have to work out over time. And honestly, things that we're just going to try. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to see what it looks like. We're going to, stick with it for, a month, 6 weeks, see if it actually feels better, looks better, creates the intended change in the lift that leads to an increase in output. And if it does, good, we stick with it. And if it doesn't, we revert back. There's no harm, no foul in trying something new as long as it is for a reason. I am not going to have Evan switch over to split snatches or squat jerks because I think those things are cool. We would try those if we thought that they would benefit him. Neither of those are going to benefit Evan in the slightest, so we don't. So as a coach, as a lifter, make informed changes in your program and to your technique so that you can measure the outcome and see how it goes. That is the final episode of the sub-episodes of an episode in a series that is going to be a permanent installment on the Gifted Performance YouTube page. So if you did like videos like this, we've got one episode left in the How to Suck Less at Weightlifting before we transition into 100% user submission, you sending us videos and me sitting down, taking a look at your video, telling you what you did right, what you did wrong, where you could fix your lifting, how you could get stronger, specific exercises, areas where you could be stronger, all of that good stuff. So if you did really like this content, make sure you subscribe because there's going to be a lot of it coming in the future, looking at specific lifting videos. Our next episode is all about meet day coaching, learning how to time your attempts, count attempts, position yourself accordingly at a meet. Meet day can be very stressful, but if you stick around, you subscribe, you like, you comment, all that good stuff, turn on post notifications. I don't even know if that's a thing on YouTube. Sounds like, notification bell. That's what it is. Hit that notification bell. You'll be able to make your meet day experience as smooth as possible. If you are looking for Olympic weightlifting coaching, make sure you fill out an application on giftedperformance.com/sign-up. Fill out that application and we will be in contact. We'll see you on episode 6, the last episode of this series. By then, you won't suck at weightlifting. You'll be amazing. We'll put the final polish on you as a weightlifter and we'll send you off into the world as a newly accomplished future Olympian. Until that episode drops, stay gifted, stay sexy, stay wealthy, stay healthy, and stay stealthy. See ya.